Guten Tag. Hi world. I love prime numbers. I love the prime numbers. Everyone talks about the prime numbers, and I am not different. I am going to rank the prime numbers. I feel like this will be really good content. My top 5 prime numbers might be controversial. I do think that these are the 5 best prime numbers. My reasons are totally subjective. 3 is the 5th, is my top 5 prime number. This is fun because we have numbers on numbers. I was gonna put this higher on the list, but if I did, it would be cliche. 3 is like really magical in stories. There's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There's the Hunger Games trilogy. Books are always like trilogies. In like religions, you have the Holy Trinity. There's like all of these things. In engineering, the triangle is a super strong shape because of the way it distributes force or something like that. Number 7. 7 is number 4. Number 4 is 7. I like number 7 not just because it's lucky, but because it shows up in places. The rainbow, Roy G. Biv, but also in like spirituality. 7 is an important number. The 7 like planets of classical astrology: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. The chakras in Hinduism. I can't believe I said it like that. Ugh. I like the number 7 because of its cultural significance. Let's move on to spot number 3. What is the 3rd greatest prime number? 17. Why? Why is that? 17 has personal significance for me. It was the number that was used to teach me what primality meant. So when I was in 3rd grade, we did factoring trees, where you factor the number by splitting it up into factors. I would do them all the time in English class, history class, in gym. I would do factoring trees because I love them way more than red light, green light, or dodgeball, or whatever stuff that like boys with anger issues did to each other. One time I had a substitute who made us do factoring trees all day for math because they didn't have anything to do. She just made us factor 17. She was like, factor 17, find a factor of 17 that isn't itself or 1. No one could come up with it. I had this Da Vinci Code moment where I realized that 17 was broken. I learned that there was an entirely new type of number that existed in a very significant way. 17 is number 3 on that list because of that personal experience, and there's nothing you can do about it. What is number 2 on the list? Number 2 on the list is 2. I put humor in my videos sometimes. 2 is 2 on the list because even. It's an even number. What do I like about 2? I like that it's even, but it's also prime. The even numbers have this pretentiousness to them because you look at them and they're just, you know that they have 2 as a factor, and it's so easy. And I just look at those even numbers turning their noses up at all of the odds because they know there isn't even a chance that any of them are prime. But of course, this really beautiful privilege that even numbers have is written in blood. There's a sinister secret to all of that, which is that 2 itself is prime. There's this like little sinful seed that makes all of the other even numbers composite. Idea of an even number also being prime is just very corrupt and sad and dramatic to me. So I really like 2 for that reason. That's why 2 is on the list. That brings us to number 1, the number 1 prime number. But before we do that, I'm going to go through some honorable mentions. Number 19. 19 is the number of chambers in the original Portal game. Valve using 19 as the number of chambers was very poetic. It played up how odd and ominous and weird some of those prime numbers are, which I really appreciated. 61. 60 is a really hard act to follow. 60 is like the number of minutes in the day, number of seconds in an hour, the number of years in a second. You know what I'm talking about. It makes it a very hard act to follow, so I actually like 61 as a prime number kind of out of pity because it's just hard to follow 60. 5, number 5, because it's like that cousin you always like. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Nice, predictable, hearty number. A great drinking buddy, I feel like. That's number 5. Now that all of that is out of the way, let's move to the number 1 prime number, in my opinion, the best prime number. Drum roll. Don't do that. The number 1 prime number is 89. I learned that 89 was prime pretty recently. I thought that it just had to be related to something. It had to have 9 involved. It had to have 3 involved. Frickin' 13 or something. It had to have some kind of odd number in there. Maybe 23 could have fit in there somewhere, you could imagine. I know my way around a base 10 system, and it's pretty shocking that a number like 89 doesn't get any factors other than itself than 1. Ultimately, that is what a prime number should be. It should be elusive. It should be mysterious. That's what makes prime numbers so wonderful. Those are my top prime numbers. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, you still watched it all the way through, so it made you feel something. But I'm gonna leave that to you to deal with. All right.